Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. A special welcome as always if you are a guest here. We hope you love your time here especially and you will consider joining the best community on YouTube. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse today. That's what we are getting into, and I was so geeked to see this movie. So I got a 5 o'clock showing, jumped in the car at 4 o'clock, left work, and was like, because I really wanted to get there. And I was also trying to see it in a theater that wasn't packed with kids because they tend to talk a lot in movies like this. I loved this movie. So let's get into it, you guys. This will be completely spoiler free. I promise. Not a little bit spoilery because I hate that. I hate that when you told me it was going to be spoiler free and then you said that, but that's a spoiler. You won't get any of that. So let's start with a synopsis. I'll tell you what I loved about the film. I'll tell you if I had any issues with the film, and then I'll tell you whether or not this is one that you should go see. So here's the synopsis. This is the story of Miles Morales and how he becomes Spider-Man. There it is. That's all I'm going to share with you, you guys. I won't say any more than that. This is his origin story. So let's get into the film. I will tell you that this movie is a visual feast for the eyes. It is a visual masterpiece. I'm telling you guys, I don't think that I've ever seen anything like this visually in the way of animation. I really don't. I can't recall one movie I've seen that has had the visual impact that this film has had with the type of animation that they use for this movie, of which I don't even know the name of. As a matter of fact, I want to ask you if you are aware of the name of this type of animation. Please let us know in the comments because I was completely fascinated by what we see on screen. Now, we can tell from the trailers that this was going to be beautiful and that the animation was going to be rich, colorful, and vibrant. But there was more than that. It was very layered. It was very textured, almost to the point where you felt like you could reach out and really touch the screen and feel the different variations and layers of what you were seeing in the image. It was absolutely beautiful. A lot of dynamic, fast-paced movement, but it didn't feel frustrating. You know how sometimes we have movies that have a whole bunch of dynamic, fast-paced movement, but it's almost just a garbled mess on the screen. It was always clear. You were always able to track what was going on the screen, but it was always very, very busy. A whole bunch of movement. And the way that it was done while incorporating things like the speech bubbles and the different things that you would normally see in panel art from a comic book was really unique. I'd never seen anything like that before. Now, that said, if you are a comic book fan, I think that you're really, really going to love the tone and the feel of this movie because it really is adaptive in the sense that you feel like you are watching a comic book that you might be reading. And it does an amazing and impressive job with that. And again, I've not seen anything like that before, especially done in such a way that's not irritating to those of us who are watching it. Fabulous, fabulous job. So the first thing that I'm going to say is the visuals is amazing. And when I tell you it is an experience, it really is. It really is an experience. One that will actually almost have you kind of trying to figure out, like, how are they doing this? And apparently they use a whole bunch of techniques. And I'm going to look more into this after the video because I'm really fascinated with this type of animation. And I actually hope to see more of it from Marvel in some of their future animated works because this was really, really impressive. And as animations go, just let me say, because you guys know on this channel that I am an unadulterated Marvel fanboy, but DC normally kicks Marvel's butt when it comes to animated works. But this movie was something different, something very, very special. So I enjoyed every aspect of the film. The visual storytelling was perfect here. It was really, really pivotal, I can say that word, of pulling you in. So everything that you saw on the screen really was immersive and it really did pull you into the story and help to connect you with the characters. So let's talk about the characters next. Because there was one thing that did worry me a little bit about this movie, and that was all of the extra characters or the different iterations of Spider-Man being brought in. I was thinking, wow, so I hope that this is good from a storytelling standpoint because we know that this is Miles Morales' origin story. But now you've got all these different iterations of Spider-Man being brought in. How are you going to connect us to these characters and help us to enjoy them as part of Miles Morales' story without drowning the central part of the story, which is how he became Spider-Man out? And let me tell you, it wasn't a problem. it was not a problem. It was amazing, really. It was amazing how they did it. Because we did feel connected to all of the other iterations of Spider-Man. We felt like we cared about them. We felt the different personalities, the different nuances that they all brought to the film. But they never once drowned out Morales. Morales was always a central figure, and they always complemented his storyline. And it did such a good job of doing that, because that was one of the fears that I had about this film. I wasn't sure how they were going to balance it, but they did a really good job of doing it. The film has tons and tons and tons of Easter eggs. Tons and tons of Easter eggs. So for you comic book fans, especially if you're a Morales fan, you're going to see that. You're going to love it. But for those of you guys who are not even Morales fans, if you look close enough, and it's not like I saw all of this. There was one video I watched. I can't remember who created, somebody on YouTube, that really pointed out all the Easter eggs. And I was like, oh my gosh. So there's a lot to see in this film too. So make sure that you guys are paying attention, because I think that you will find that very cool, how they put a lot of things in this movie for those of us who know what to look for, and even for those of us who might not know but might pick up something like, did I just see? There's a lot of stuff to see in this movie. So I thought that was really cool as well, how they planted a lot of things in the movie. The tone of the movie, you guys, this is a Spider-Man movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. Always when you have a Spider-Man movie, there is a certain feel that should go with a Spider-Man movie. I feel like every Spider-Man movie should have a certain level of angst, because Spider-Man always carries kind of like a little bit of that. It should have a certain level of his friction with the community, because every Spider-Man movie carries a little bit of that. Folks don't really appreciate Spidey until he's saving them. So it had all of that. So all of what you were looking for in terms of the tone and feel of what a Spider-Man movie should have, animated or not, was there in this movie. And that's a really crucial factor, because you have to capture that, because it's such an essential part of who Spider-Man is. And it does that very well also. Great relationships in the movie. The story is it's heartwarming. You feel the weight of it in certain areas as different parts of the story are told. Again, see, I told you I wasn't going to spoil anything. So there's a lot to see and experience in this film. I thought this was an amazing work, and the more I think about it, the more I'm impressed by this movie. Let me stop and say this, because I wanted to say this and I don't want to forget to say it. Guys, you cannot see this movie outside of the theaters. From what I understand, this movie is in theaters only. So don't even think about skipping it and thinking, oh, that's okay, it's cool, I'm going to get it on Blu-ray later. No, you won't, unless I'm wrong and somebody can correct me. But from what I understand, guys, this is an in-theaters movie only, and rightfully so, because you should go and see this on the big screen. So I thought that the movie was amazing. I love the pace of the movie. I love the fact that the movie was so fast-paced, but yet not confusing or frustrating. Sometimes we get films that are really fast-paced, and it just looks like someone scribbling on the screen. It's hard to make out what's going on with characters, because things are moving, flying, going this way and that way. This was not like that. Even though it was very fast-paced, you could always track what was going on with the different individuals on the screen, and I was impressed by that as well. So let's talk about what might be a small problem to you. It wasn't to me, but I will say this, and I hadn't thought about this. Someone else mentioned this in a review that I was watching, so I want to pass that on to you, because I guess it is a consideration. There is a lot of colors. The colors are vibrant. The colors are fast-moving. They change quite a bit. So if you are prone to epilepsy from things like that, and I don't even know how that works, I could see that being a problem for you. So that's something to consider. And I can't take credit for that. Someone else mentioned it, but I said, yeah, that makes sense. Also, some people will be frustrated with the pace of the movie in terms of how fast it moves visually. Some people are not going to like that. Some people are going to like slower bouts of action and things like that, just because they feel like they can absorb it more and they can enjoy that type of action more visually. This is very fast-paced action, and I do think that some people will have some problems with that. Other than that, I really don't have any issues with this film. I thought it was just good from so many different angles. The storytelling angle, just the right amount of humor, the right amount of heart, the right amount of angst or consequence. I thought all of that was there. I was really impressed by this movie. And I still, as I think about it, man, I gotta know. I'm gonna look into it after we get done here, how they executed the animation, because I've not seen anything like it. If this doesn't get nominated, at least nominated, and maybe even win for an Academy Award, something's going on. I don't know what's going on here. So all in all, you guys, I think this was a great movie. I think this is a movie that you definitely want to check out. Again, I'm so happy. Marvel, thank you, man. I know this is not the MCU, but I know that Feige said in the MCU, he is actively looking to diversify the MCU. And I hope Marvel continues to do that. Shout out to DC, man. DC fans, we need that Blue Beetle movie. I know that they were talking about that. I want to see that. So I was happy to see this on the big screen for that as well. Kind of a representation of everybody and the different superheroes across the different scopes and globe and all that kind of stuff, even though Miles is set in an alternate universe. This was good. I mean, that's it, really. Bottom line, this is one that you definitely want to go see. This is one that you can take the kids to see, and you don't have to really worry about anything. But you can take your honey, you can take your wife, your girl, whatever, go out on a nice date night, and you will enjoy this movie as well. It was a lot of fun, you guys. I'm definitely suggesting this to you. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it an A+. I did enjoy this movie that much. That said, you guys, a few things to update you on. Now, you remember the last video. This is for all of my Into the Badlands fans. And if you are not an Into the Badlands fans, don't you go anywhere, because I'm about to give you a treat, introduce you to the best show on TV. And once you find out information about it, you'll be watching. So for all of my Into the Badlands fans, guys, I did do a collab with Third Person. That video is up. I will put that in the link in the description. You're going to love it. And it was so much fun to do with Mike and Chris. You are going to love it. It is in the description below. Make sure that you guys check that out. Our Thursday video for Into the Badlands is coming out as well. You guys know we don't miss a Thursday. We really try not to. We are talking Gwen. I can't wait to get your feedback on that. Guys, as always, thank you so much. I will be checking out a few other movies. I'm going to be checking out Aquaman, and from what everyone's telling me, because I said I was really worried about this film, that I won't be after seeing it. So I will be checking that out on, what time? We have 7 o'clock tickets for Saturday. I'm also going to try and check out Mortal Engines as well, just because I'm fascinated by what I've seen. So those are the things on deck as far as movies go. We're still deep diving into the Badlands, and we're still trying to really expand our comic book content, or our comic book movie content on this channel as well, because I really want that to start becoming a bigger part of the community. Guys, as always, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, especially if you are new here. We would love to have you as part of the community. And with that, I will see you on the next video. Peace, guys.